All right, so I'm watching season 2 of the iCarly revival on Paramount Plus, and something occurred to me about I think what is like the main problem with this revival series. And I think the problem comes down to is particularly with these three main characters who are back from the original show, Carly, Freddie, and Spencer. Everything about their lives, not everything, but the majority of things about their lives are for all intents and purposes kind of the same as it was back on the original series. You got Carly, still hanging out with friends, dating guys, being someone independent, but relying on Spencer, doing her web show. You got like Freddie, still living with his mom, having a stepdaughter he raises. That's different, but like just still doing his like technology stuff, still kind of struggling to find his place in life. And you got Spencer living in the same apartment that's like decorated the same, and pretty much, and just being an artist. And nothing's really all that different. And the thing is, between the two series, we actually have heard that these characters were doing different things in their lives. Freddie was married and divorced 2 times, and he got, his stepdaughter through this. And, Carly was like at a point in life when she was living in Italy, and, different like that. Spencer apparently has had like this huge success as an artist and became like very wealthy. But we don't see this kind of stuff. And in some ways, you could argue that the fact that these characters are kind of the same points in their lives where they were, whatever, back when the show was airing, could be somewhat realistic in the sense that, like, people are struggling nowadays and they're not necessarily going through changes, but people's lives changes. And the reason why I say this is a flaw in the show is because it just kind of feels like the same show. And a lot of people argue that the original series went on too long as it is. So just kind of reviving it and doing kind of the same thing several years later, it's like it doesn't justify its existence. It doesn't give it its own unique purpose kind of for existing. I mean, we had the fact that the series is targeted specifically towards like adults who grew up with it now. And they can swear and they can have jokes about sex and they can make their topical, woke jokes. And that's all fine and good, but it doesn't feel like its own thing. It just feels like they're just like, all right, now we're gonna make season whatever 8, 9 of the original series, and everything feels the same. And in some sense, it's necessary to kind of have all the characters to be together and to still be doing the iCarly web series. But imagine if these characters were just like at totally different places in their lives, and their lives were a lot different, or significantly different at least, than they were back on where they were on the original series. That would give this show this kind of own unique thing to make it set apart from the original and kind of have its own reason for existing. That would be like, okay, I'm watching something different. It's cool.